Frankly, that debate is useless. They are two entirely different things and they cannot be compared as equals. If this is your first time seeing my face, hi, I'm Shannon. I've been running my art business since 2019, and while I'm not full-time yet, I'm working on it. Over the last 5 years, I've tried out a lot of things, from art styles to product types to marketing plans, and not all of it has worked. So I wanted to take a second and talk about what has worked for me. I know the abundance of resources out there can feel overwhelming, and I'm the type of person who wants to evaluate all of my options before I make a decision, so I get it. The purpose of this video is for me to help you with your online research for your art business. When I was just starting out, and even to this day, I like to look at reviews and experiences that other art business owners have had with the same resources and tools that I'm considering. This isn't going to be an in-depth look at each resource, but an overview of things I've had a good experience with and would recommend to my friends. To make it a bit more organized, I'm going to break the things down into 3 separate categories: art and design, shop, and marketing. To start off with the art section, I'm probably not going to be telling you anything you don't already know. For my illustrative work, I use Procreate, and for my graphic design work, I use the Adobe Suite, specifically Illustrator and Photoshop. I absolutely adore Procreate because of the ease it allows me. I'm the type of girly who wants to be able to get all comfy on my couch to draw, and that's not really possible with ink and watercolors. I got my iPad around 2021 and have simply never looked back. With Adobe, I learned Photoshop in a high school computer class, and I taught myself Illustrator in college. I know there are similar programs available for the iPad, and I've tried them before, but I always find myself wanting to return to what I know, and just like the keyboard shortcuts and everything on the laptop are really nice. Lastly, if you're here for my Instagram, you probably know me for my band theme National Park shirts. To create these designs, I source my photos from 2 different stock photo websites, Shutterstock and iStock. I pay for each photo individually, and I believe there are different licenses available on each platform. I'm not a lawyer, so I encourage you to do your own research into what each platform offers and how it can work for you. If you've ever at all looked into starting an online art business, you've heard the debate between Shopify and Etsy. Frankly, that debate is useless. They are two entirely different things and they cannot be compared as equals. Etsy is a collection of different makers with a search engine that allows users to look for the different things that they want, and Shopify is more of a website hosting platform that allows you to create your own space on the internet. Because of these differences, I have both. I have my own website and store through Shopify, and this is what I link to on all of my social media posts, in my emails, stuff like that. I originally started out on Etsy and have kept it running today for the search engine purposes. My prices are a little higher on Etsy just to account for the fees, and I plug my website all over my Etsy page just to let people know that they can get things a little cheaper over there. The majority of my sales are through Shopify, but I make at least enough each month to cover my Etsy fees, so it doesn't hurt for me to keep it open. And if you're just starting, I would recommend going with Etsy, as it's really user-friendly on the back end and the fees aren't outrageous when your sales are still low, not to mention the search engine capabilities. One last thing about Shopify is that it does have a built-in email marketing system that I personally use. I know there are standalone platforms out there that people use, MailChimp, Klaviyo, stuff like that, but the Shopify one works just fine for me. I will say I don't use their email builder to design my emails. I design them separately in Illustrator and then upload them, so I'm not really sure how user-friendly that thing is, but just being able to drop in the images that I created works pretty good. Now, getting into products, I use a print-on-demand service called Printful for my shirts, sweatshirts, and hats. It connects to both my Shopify and my Etsy, making it really easy to get my orders fulfilled, and I can also place standalone orders for wholesale and markets. They have really responsive customer service and are also really eco-conscious, which is nice for me and my personal brand values. They have facilities all over the world, including multiple here in the US, and so US-based orders are fulfilled in the US facility closest to the delivery address. I really like this because it cuts down on both emissions and travel time. For my stickers, I use Vinyl Disorder. I order from them online. I'm very picky about my stickers and prefer a satin finish, which I've discovered not every place offers. I've been using Vinyl Disorder for maybe 6 months now, and I'm always happy with how my orders turn out. Side note, satin finish is similar to what the Bad Sticker Company uses for their stickers, the one where you could get 10 stickers for $10 and a lot of small businesses use to start out. And I found Vinyl Disorder has a very good comparison to that. Lastly, for my prints, I've been using my local FedEx. They are glossy prints, which I would prefer matte, but right now I don't offer a lot of prints, so FedEx is a good choice for me because there are no order minimums, and a lot of times the orders are done in the same day. I'd like to get a printer at home in the future, just also for general printer needs, but right now FedEx works pretty good for me. I talked a little bit about marketing earlier with creating my emails through Shopify, but I wanted to talk about resources I use for marketing materials specifically. When I first started out, I used Unsplash for free stock photos. It's a really good source for more aesthetic photography instead of the typical stock photo look. And if you're looking for more natural UGC style photos, maybe something that looks like you could have just taken it right now with your phone, Dupe has popped up in the last year. I like using that as a resource for things like mood boards, collages, background photos, stuff like that. When I want some inspo for creating my marketing emails, I used to go to Pinterest, but recently it has turned into a generative AI hellscape. So instead, this might be a hot take, I recently have been scrolling through Canva templates for new ideas. I don't design in there simply because I prefer Illustrator. I have my brand fonts over there, my colors, everything already set up, but Canva has been a good source for new layout ideas and things like that. Behance is also really good for that. It's kind of more like Pinterest where it's like a feed you can search, get design inspo, see things that other people have created, but for some reason I'm just really bad at remembering that it exists. Lastly, a resource I did not find out about until about halfway through my graphic design career is FreePic. It's a website where you can get icons, graphics, some stock photos, anything you could really need. I'm an artist and a designer, but sometimes I don't want to spend my time arting and designing on marketing materials when I could spend that time drawing and making other fun stuff. So I'll pull graphic elements from FreePics just to make that process a little faster. Those are all the resources I have to talk about today. I hope that in watching this, you've learned something new. These are all things I've found that work for me, and my advice for you now is to try things out for yourself. Not everything is going to work for you or your business or your workflow, but testing things out is a great way to discover what does. Time is a very valuable resource for business owners, especially artists and makers who need as much time of it as possible to create their products. If any of these resources can help save you time, inspire you, help your business grow, then I encourage you to try them out. If you have any questions about any of the things that I mentioned, please drop them down below and I'll do my best to answer them based on my own personal experience. And if you have any recommendations for things that you love to use, I'd love to hear those as well. I'm always open for redeveloping my systems as my business grows. Thank you for sticking around. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more art business related content.